I am so happy you're all here this afternoon as we inaugurate this wonderful new program, the Sloan Awards for Excellence in Teaching Science and Mathematics in New York City's high schools. This great hall at Cooper Union has probably never been host to so many amazing individuals, and I thank you all for being here. We have students who are not deterred by what challenges they face and who've set remarkably high standards for themselves and have achieved remarkable results. We have many, many teachers who, with no thought of reward, have dedicated their lives to helping students to be the best they can possibly be and do so with innovation, creativity, commitment, and profound caring. And we have school administrators and all the people on the dais behind me who are unrecognized in our society for the scope of their responsibilities and the complexity of their jobs, but who lead and manage with a level of competence and excellence that would be the envy of most organizations in the private sector. And of course, we are delighted to have parents and husbands and wives and children of the winners here who have all risen to the occasion when called upon and who've made great personal sacrifices to ensure that the teacher in their family has the time and the flexibility and the resources that that teacher wants to meet the needs of his or her students. So I am particularly happy that these awards are being bestowed in this room and at this podium. On February 27th, 1860, Abraham Lincoln made the speech here that helped make him president. At that time, he was suffering from the defeat for the U.S. Senate by Stephen Douglas, and he had arrived in New York after a long, arduous train trip from Springfield, Illinois. And as it's been described by the historian Harold Holzer, Lincoln had on an ill-fitting suit that had been in a trunk for days, and when he appeared on this stage, at this podium, people were shocked by the awkward-looking person with the frontier accent who is standing before them. Before long, however, he had the audience enraptured. He made one of the greatest and most intellectually formidable speeches, and historians don't know whether it was clear if Lincoln had seriously entertained the pursuit of the presidential nomination before this speech, but the overwhelming positive reaction to it either prompted him to consider the presidency or removed any lingering reluctance he had. The speech that he gave here, this podium, almost 150 years ago, made him president. It compelled the South to succeed, and it saved the Union. We are in the right place indeed to be honoring our teachers. It is now my pleasure to introduce Paul Josko, president of the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation and our partner in this program. He is presently on leave from his position as the Elizabeth and James Killian Professor of Economics and Management at MIT, where he's been on the faculty since 1972. He has a BA from Cornell and a PhD in economics from Yale. That being said, however, here is what I think has been the key to his success. Paul is a native of Queens. He went to elementary school at PS 173. He attended junior high school 216 and graduated from Francis Lewis High School. Paul Josko.
Thank you, Mary, and let me also welcome you all to the first annual Awards for Excellence in Teaching Science and Mathematics, supported by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation and the Fund for the City of New York. And I agree this is a wonderful place to inaugurate these awards. The Alfred P. Sloan Foundation celebrated its 75th anniversary as a foundation and philanthropic citizen of New York City just 2 weeks ago. The Foundation's mission is to support research and education related to science, technology, economic performance, and the quality of American life. In pursuing this mission, we make every effort to find opportunities to support activities in New York City, where the Foundation is located and where many of our staff live. One of our most precious activities has been our partnership with the Fund for the City of New York in supporting the Sloan Public Service Awards. Each year, these awards recognize outstanding civil servants working for the city. When I became president of the foundation almost 2 years ago, I attended my first Sloan Public Service Awards event, actually right in this room. And afterwards, I asked my colleagues and Mary and others why we couldn't do something similar, create a similar set of awards to recognize outstanding science and math teachers in New York City's public high schools. I benefited enormously from having terrific science and math teachers at Francis Lewis High School. In fact, I learned recently my 11th grade math teacher is still there. You can do the arithmetic. And while there's a lot of media attention paid to various problems in our public schools, I believe that there's too little attention paid to the outstanding contributions made by many of our dedicated teachers. So working with the Fund for the City of New York, we're taking a small step to remedy this situation by establishing this new awards program to recognize excellence in teaching in science and math. Something that's consistent with the goals that Alfred P. Sloan established for the foundation. This is the first of what I hope will be many opportunities to recognize the best of the city's teachers in these areas. And I want to personally take this opportunity to congratulate the first 7 winners of these awards. Congratulations. And I look forward to learning more about each of you. Thank you.
And thank you, Paul. And also from the Sloan Foundation, we're joined by our program officer, Dr. Michael Teitelbaum, who is a noted demographer. He was educated at Reed College and Oxford University, where he was a Rhodes Scholar. There are lots of brains up here tonight. I'd also like to introduce Chancellor Klein will be joining us shortly, but we have 2 people from the Department of Ed I'd like to introduce. Santiago Traveras, the Deputy Chancellor for Teaching and Learning. And it's interesting that he was the founding principal of one of the schools that has a winner, and also the founding principal of the Urban Assembly Academy for Careers in Sports, both in the Bronx. And we also are joined by Linda Curtis Bay and her team. And Linda is the director. Linda, would you raise your hand, of the Department of Mathematics and Science at the Department of Education, and has been a critical individual in getting us all towards innovation. Now I'd like to introduce someone who's going to introduce our guest speaker. And that person is a member of our selection panel, Alan Friedman. And for the past 30 years, Dr. Friedman's passion has been how to communicate science and technology to the public and students and teachers through museum exhibits, interdisciplinary courses, lectures, and the mass media. And maybe some of you visited his place between 1984 and 2006 when Dr. Friedman, who has a PhD in physics, was the director of the New York Hall of Science. And he worked there in developing interactive and participatory exhibits. This is why many of you, I suspect, got into science. And coupled with his 12 years at the Lawrence Hall of Science Planetarium in Berkeley, where he was the director of astronomy and physics, he's won numerous awards, including the American Association for the Advancement of Sciences Award for Public Understanding of Science and Technology, the National Science Teachers Association Distinguished Informal Science Education Award, and the New York City Mayor's Special Recognition Award for Excellence in Science and Technology. Dr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mary, and it is my pleasure to be able to introduce a special speaker for all of you. We know that there are many functions of good science and technology teaching in the schools. Some of these are just to produce people who are fascinated by science and technology, and a small percentage of